Hey, it's Coach Rowe, and I'm here with another wellness tip or wellness knowledge for you guys, because here's what I know. Knowledge is the new currency. And if I can help you guys just get one bit of knowledge to help you live a healthier lifestyle, I've done my job. And tonight I'm excited because we're going to cover two most very important things that we hear so much about, but sometimes we don't know enough about them. And one of them is 3 reasons why a calorie is not a calorie. And the other thing is 3 science-based reasons why you should eat more protein. Because a lot of times these are what people talk about, calories and protein. And sometimes we get so frustrated with them that because we don't have the knowledge that we need, that we just give up and go back to living the same old lifestyle that we lived before. So tonight I'm going to help you with those. But hey, listen, before I do, I just want to share with you a reason who I am. You know, a lot of people say, Coach Rowe, what do you do? Well, here's what I know. A lot of people have a life coach to help them live their life. I don't do that. I'm a life saver. I'll help you save your life. Why? Because we're only given so many seconds in a day, and I want you to get the most from them and not waste them. And how do we do that? I believe that if we can live a healthier lifestyle, if we can change our eating habits, if we can change our nutritional habits, if we can get our body to feel the best it possibly can, we can live a better quality of life no matter what. So that's why I do what I do. And if I can just make a difference for one of you tonight, I've done my job. So listen, let's get going because we have a lot to cover and I want to stay on track. So we have 3 reasons why a calorie is not a calorie. Now, of all the nutrition myths, the calorie myth is one of the most pervasive and most damaging. It's the idea that calories are the most important part of the diet, that the sources of these calories don't matter, right? A lot of times people say, well, calorie is a calorie is a calorie. They say that it doesn't matter whether you eat 100 calories of candy or 100 calories of broccoli. They will have the same effect on your weight. Now, it's true that all calories have the same amount of energy, but when it comes to your body, things are not that simple. The human body is a highly complex biochemical system with elaborate processes that regulate energy balance. Now, different foods go through different biochemical pathways, some of which are inefficient and cause calories, to be lost as heat. Even more important is the fact that different foods and macronutrients have a major effect on the hormones and brain centers that control hunger and eating behavior. You know, the food you eat can have a huge impact on the biological process that control when, what, and how much you eat. In other words, it controls your brain. It messes with your brain. It can tell your brain if you're full. It can tell your brain if you think you should be eating more, even when you shouldn't. Now, here's what I want to share with you guys, because a lot of times we hear all this information, but I want to share with you 3 proven examples of why a calorie is not a calorie. You're going to love this. Fructose versus glucose is number 1. The 2 main simple sugars in your diet are glucose and fructose. Gram for gram, the 2 provide the same number of calories, but the way they are metabolized in the body is completely different. Here's what we know. Number 2, glucose can be metabolized by all of your body tissues. So all your body can be using up the calories in glucose, but fructose can only be metabolized by the liver in any significant amount. So let me give you a few examples of why glucose calories are not the same as fructose calories, and I'm hoping maybe this tip alone will get you to think completely different tomorrow morning when you wake up and start eating different. Ghrelin is a hunger hormone. It goes up when you're hungry and down after you've eaten. One study showed that fructose leads to high ghrelin levels. That is more hunger than glucose, right? So fructose does not stimulate the safety centers in your brain in the same way as glucose, leading to a reduced feeling of fullness. Now, what does this mean? When you eat glucose, it makes you still feel hungry, like you want to eat more. Have you ever eaten stuff and after a while you go, why did I even eat that whole thing? It's because they trick your brain, right? But fructose doesn't do that, and it leads to a reduced feeling of fullness. Consuming a lot of fructose can cause consuming a lot of glucose, it's glucose leading to a reduced feeling of fullness. Sorry about that, I get confused. Consuming a lot of fructose can cause insulin resistance, abdominal fat gain, increased triglycerides, blood sugar, and small, dense LDL compared to the exact same amount of calories from glucose. So just that alone, all those negative effects should be enough for you to stay away from fructose. As you can see, the same number of calories, vastly different effects on hunger, hormones, and metabolic health. Judging nutrients based on the calories they provide is way too simplistic. Keep in mind that fructose only has negative effects when eaten in excessive amounts. Added sugar and candy are its largest dietary sources. Like, listen, don't be discouraged to eat plenty of fruits. A lot of times people say you shouldn't eat fruits. While they do contain fructose, they're also rich in fiber, water, and they provide a significant chewing resistance, which mitigates the negative effects of the fructose. So in other words, you're chewing it, and so it's helping to burn that up. So let me summarize this. Even though fructose and glucose provide the same number of calories, fructose has far more negative effects on hormones, appetite, and metabolic health. So listen, tomorrow, stop paying attention to how much glucose and how much fructose you're using and try to cut back on the fructose. Number 2, the thermic effect of food. Different foods go through different metabolic pathways. Some of these pathways are more efficient than others. For example, the more efficient a metabolic pathway is, the more of the food's energy is used for work and less is dissipated as heat. The metabolic pathways for protein are less efficient than the metabolic pathways for carbs and fat. Proteins contains 4 calories per gram, but a large part of these protein calories is lost as heat when it's metabolized by the body. The thermic effect of food is a measure of how much different foods increase energy expenditure. Now, due to the energy required to digest, absorb, and metabolize the nutrients, here is a thermic effect of the different macronutrients. So what I'm going to share with you is just how much different the difference between fats, carbs, and proteins. Now, fats, it's the thermic effect is 2 to 3%. Carbs, 6 to 8%. This is very important. Protein, 25 to 30%. Now, sources vary on the exact numbers, but it's clear that proteins require much more energy to metabolize than fat and carbs. Now, if you go with the thermic effect of 25% for protein and 2% for fat, this would mean that if you ate 100 calories of protein, you would end up, 75 would end up as calories, while 100 calories of fat would end up as 98 calories. That's why there's such an emphasis on protein. That's just one of the reasons. Is check that out. If you have 100 calories of protein, it would end up as 75 calories. 100 calories of fat would end up as 98. You're retaining more calories. Now, studies show that high protein diets boost metabolism by 80 to 100 calories per day compared to lower protein diets. Let me say that again. Studies show that high protein diets boost metabolism by 80 to 100 calories per day compared to low protein diets. Put simply, high protein diets have a metabolic advantage. Now, to summarize this for you guys, protein calories are less fattening than calories from carbs and fat because protein takes more energy to metabolize. Whole foods also require more energy to digest than processed foods. Now, let's go to number 3, protein, because we're going to talk about this for a few minutes now. Protein kills appetite and makes you eat fewer calories. The protein story doesn't end with increased metabolism. It goes much deeper than that. It also leads to significantly reduced appetite, making you eat fewer calories automatically. So the protein, it helps you, it reduces your appetite. So the more protein you eat, you start feeling fuller and you eat less calories automatically. Now, studies also show that protein is by far the most filling macronutrient. If you increase your protein intake, you start losing weight without counting the calories or controlling portions. Just doing that alone, increasing your protein and cutting back on your carbohydrates and sugars can automatically help you lose weight. Protein puts fat loss on autopilot. You guys, I'm going to say that again for you guys because this might be the one thing that gets you to switch your thinking and get a complete mind shift. Protein puts fat loss on autopilot. And one study, people who increased their protein intake to 30% of calories automatically started eating 441 fewer calories per day and lost 11 pounds in 12 weeks. They ate by increasing the protein, they ate 441 fewer calories per day and lost 11 pounds in 12 weeks. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen for everybody, but just think, what if it happened for them, it could happen for you. The only difference is they take action and sometimes we don't. Now, if you don't want to go on a diet, but simply tip the metabolic scales in your favor, adding more protein to your diet may be the simplest and most delicious way to cause automatic weight loss. It's very clear that when it comes to metabolism and appetite regulation, a protein calorie is not the same as a calorie from carbs or fat. Now, let me just summarize that for you. Increased protein can lead to drastically reduced appetite and cause automatic weight loss without the need for calorie counting or portion control. All right, so now look, here's what I want to do for you guys real quickly here. I'm going to go through 3 science-backed reasons to eat more calories. In other words, this isn't made up stuff. This is scientifically backed. So I would write these down. Grab a pencil and write these down and go back and listen to this again, because if you write this down, you're going to remember that the pencil is the recorder of the mind. The pencil is the recorder of the mind. So if you write it down, you'll remember it. Now, protein, number 1, reduces appetite and hunger levels. We've kind of talked about that. The 3 macronutrients, fats, carbs, and protein, affect your body in different ways. Studies show that protein is by far the most filling, and it helps you feel more full with less food. Right? This is partly because protein reduces your level of hunger hormone, that ghrelin, what we talked about early, and it also boosts the levels of peptide, a hormone that makes you feel full. These effects on appetite can be powerful. And one study, increasing protein intake from 15 to 30% of calories. Like I said earlier, some of this I repeat because sometimes repetition is how it sinks into your brain a little bit more. Made overweight women eat 440 more calories each day without intentionally restricting anything. Now, if you need to lose weight or belly fat, consider replacing some of your carbs and fats with protein. It can be as simple as making your potato or rice serving smaller while adding a few extra bites of meat or fish. Now, see, it doesn't mean you have to eat less. You do a little mind shift, a little shifting in your wellness and your health and your eating habits, and you can lose weight. So to summarize, number 1, a high protein diet reduces hunger, helping you eat fewer calories, and this is caused by the improved function of weight regulating hormones. I love this stuff. Number 2, it lowers your blood pressure, right? We have so many people that struggle with high blood pressure. Now, like I said, what I'm sharing with you guys, there's no guarantee that it's going to cure this stuff. I'm not telling you this because I'm guaranteeing anything, but what I'm doing is trying to give you a little bit of knowledge that if you can take self-responsibility for your health and self-responsibility for your blood levels, your blood pressure levels, and self-responsibility for what you put in your body, just sometimes, great things are going to happen for you guys. Now, high blood pressure is a major cause of heart attacks, strokes, and chronic kidney disease. Interestingly, high protein intake has been shown to lower blood pressure in a review of 40 controlled trials. Increased protein lowered systolic blood pressure, that's the top number of the reading, by 1.76 mmHgs on the average, and diastolic blood pressure, the bottom one, reducing it by 1.55 mm. So listen, I don't know what all those numbers need. All I know is this: the top number was better, and the bottom number was better, and right where it was supposed to be. One study found that in addition to lowering blood pressure, a high protein diet also reduced LDL and the cholesterol and triglycerides. Several studies note that high protein intake can lower blood pressure. Some studies also demonstrate improvements in other risk factors for heart disease. And last but not least, you guys, this is the one you've been waiting for. It boosts metabolism and increases fat burning. Listen, eating can boost your metabolism for a short while. That's because your body uses calories to digest and makes use of the nutrients in the food. This is referred to as the thermic effect of food. We talked about that a little earlier. Now, however, not all foods are the same in this regard. In fact, protein has a much higher thermic effect than fat or carbs, right? We talked about this before. Sometimes I do repeat things. Why? Because it's important. I feel if I'm going to share something with you, sometimes we got to hear things over and over and over again until you get the message, right? So carbs are 20 to 35% compared to 5 to 15%. High protein intake has been shown to significantly boost metabolism, increase the number of calories you burn. This can amount to 80 to 100 more calories burned each day. In fact, some research suggests you can burn even more. In one study, a high protein group burned 260 more calories per day than a low protein group. Wouldn't you have liked to be in that group? That's equivalent to an hour of moderate intensity exercise per day. So to summarize, high protein intake may boost your metabolism significantly, helping you burn more calories throughout the day. So listen, I hope I gave you guys some great information today. You probably couldn't write it all down. I try to condense it for you guys, but here's what I want you to do. I want you to go back and listen to this again, because you're on here for a reason. You're watching this either live or you're watching it on a replay for a reason. There's something that guided you here, right? There are no mistakes. There's no coincidences why you're watching this video. There's a reason why. And there's a reason why I do this, because there's so many people that are struggling out there. They want to change their life. They want to live a healthier lifestyle. They're sick and tired of being sick and tired, but they just don't know what actions to take. And sometimes it can be so simple, but yet if you don't know, it can become difficult. And then we just give up. We think it's us. We think it's our fault. We're just made to be fat. We're made to be unhealthy. That's not true at all. You can change. But sometimes it just takes somebody to guide you and coach you. And listen, I love doing that. I do this every day because I love doing it. I love helping people. I love helping people lose weight. I love helping people live a healthier lifestyle. I love helping people, giving people the free knowledge like I'm giving to you guys right now. Why? Because if I can improve one person's life, if I can make a difference in one person's life today with this message, I did my job. So here's what I want to tell you guys. If you guys want to talk to me, I'll be happy to talk to you. And guess what? It's free. I'll put a link, a calendar link in the comments. You can click on it, pick a time that's good for you. I'll call you guys. I'll talk to you for a half hour. Now, I'm not saying I'll have the answers for all you guys, but I can try to guide you and direct you, because what I feel is as much as nutrition, you got to change your shift. You got to shift in the way you eat. You also have to have a mind shift. You got to think differently. You got to believe that you can do it. You got to believe that you can change. And sometimes, because we've been programmed in such a negative society, that we don't feel that we can do it. But I'm telling you that we do. And if we can have a healthier mind and a healthier body, you'll have a whole healthier quality of life. So listen, I'm Coach Rowe, and here's what I'm telling you guys. Click on the link, schedule a call for me. And when you get up tomorrow, make one small change. One thing you learned tonight, make one small change, and it could completely change your life. And here's what I want you to do. Live the best life you've ever lived. Live the best day tomorrow you've ever lived. Wake up with the best attitude you've ever had. Why? Because you never know if there'll be another tomorrow. God bless you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you guys. Let's get you going. Click on the link. Give me a call. Set an appointment, and I'll call you. Let's go. Thank you, and make it a great day.